How's it going, guys? And welcome to RC Cincy. Today we have the FMS P-39 Air Cobra 2. So this is an aircraft from Bell, and of course it was a World War II aircraft, and they did do a few racers with it. This is a beautiful yellow and black scheme. It is 980 millimeters. It is normally $259. It is on sale for springtime for $239.99. It is a PMP, so you will have to provide your own receiver, controller, and battery and charger. So you're gonna need a few components. Then looking at it, it's very beautiful. Now you are gonna have to assemble a few things on it. So let's talk about the corks really quickly. There is servo horns, linkages that you will have to install. Be careful, they are tricky. These screws can go in a little crooked. Just make sure they're lined up. The back one is painted. Kind of bugs me if these aren't painted to match. You could do that yourself. Landing gear is pre-installed. 4 screws hold on the wing. 2 screws hold on the back elevator stabilizers. You do have to connect the linkages for the rudder and elevator as well. Be careful, some of these are really stiff in the beginning, and then just adjust them to the right length so the control surfaces are flush. Let's set this down on this beautiful tricycle landing gear, which I absolutely love. Yellow tips on the 4-bladed prop. The canopy is held on with magnets. You want to grab it right here. It's kind of like a reinforced little piece in here. So you grab it from here, pull up. You do get a magnet here. A little dovetail there, it just slides in. They recommend a 2200 4S pack. I'm using a Spectrum battery. What's weird is the connector is an EC5, so you are gonna need an adapter. I know these are 2 adapters together. I'm probably gonna cut this because I typically use ESCs. I typically use EC3. This is an EC5, but the reason why they did that is this crazy thing is 80 amps. So in the website, it only said that it was 70. So they either updated it or they ran out of them and gave you a bigger one, which is a bonus. So this can handle 6S. Just make sure there is a chart on the back, and you can look it up on the website, where you factor in like the amps and the kV and the voltage you're trying to run, and make sure that it's compatible. You don't burn up the motor or hurt the ESC or anything. But the ESC is capable of 6S. This is a 950 kV motor, so it's very, very powerful. I've seen videos of it running 3S, but 6S, but it was using a 3-bladed prop, so I think that does have a little bit of factor. The less blades, the faster, so 3-bladed prop is faster than the 4-blade, and then the 2-blade is faster than the 3-blade, so keep that in mind. You do get battery straps, which honestly I'm gonna eliminate them. They're very hard to deal with. I'm gonna use Velcro. Balance it with 2200. I think the CG is between, I want to say, 68 and 75 millimeters. So let's quickly flip to that. Where is it? Yep, 65 to 70 millimeters. You want to balance it this way with the landing gear out, because that changes the CG point. So you want to make 2 little marks for between 65 and 70, and you just basically want to balance it where it's not nose heavy, about like right there. We're a little bit nose heavy, but definitely you don't want it tail heavy, so I may even slide that a little bit more forward and just get it where you need it. We'll set this down for a second. You definitely want to check the control surfaces. I am using a 6-channel Spectrum receiver. Let's pull this bad boy out so you can see. This is a 6-channel sport, very light receiver. Unfortunately, there has to be a sacrifice. You need a 7-channel transmitter to get the full potential out of this, or a receiver. So what happens is, if you don't have a receiver that has S-bus to connect the control for the stabilization to its own channel, you're gonna have to either sacrifice flaps, or you want stabilization in AX, 3X essentially. So I recommend a 7-channel receiver or an 8-channel. They're fairly cheap, especially if you just buy a plain one. It doesn't have, you know, telemetry, doesn't have stabilization, because you don't need it, because this has V2 Reflex, which is the gyro. So keep that in mind. So I'm currently sacrificing flaps. I'm gonna fly it, see if I need the AX, 3X. Most likely this will fly on rails, so you probably will not need it. So then I'll just unplug the Reflex and plug in the flaps, and I can leave it there for now or use it in something else. It does have a wire to be updated firmware. You can change the settings depending on the aircraft, because different aircrafts have different parameters. Just like Horizon, I think Horizon does lock theirs, but there is a way around that. There's a cable. I'll do a video later on that. So that is the receiver. You definitely want these two antennas going in different ways, which I will tape in different ways. Kind of get plenty of diversity there. So we'll kind of shove that in there for now. So like I said, monster ESC, you know, you can fit up to a 3200. I've seen videos. The 3200 will typically be all the way up here because it's much heavier. The 2200 will come this way. Once you balance it, please make marks. It'll be so much easier. Make a mark and then put the size of the battery so you know where to balance it at. So really quickly, I'm just gonna shove this down. We're gonna put this back on, just like so. If it doesn't fit, then something is in the way. Make sure there's nothing in the way of it. Just like that, slide that in, and then the magnet's on, nice and stiff. Just show you really quickly the beautiful Retracts. We are currently bound. I'm gonna show you the beautiful Retracts. Gorgeous. If you like these little covers, they are not matching that great, to be honest with you. We'll show you the control surfaces. Please check your control surfaces. Aileron to the stick to the right should be the right one going up, then the left one going up. Elevator up, elevator down. You got your rudder, of course, steerable nose gear will turn with it. Beautiful. I may do rates because it's kind of fast. I may do rates, and I may move it back. It recommends the second to last hole. I would probably move it back to that. I had it all the way out because I wanted maximum throws. And really, that's about it. Just have a decent transmitter, get a decent pack. I'm really liking the Spectrum batteries. I'm liking the size of this. The performance should be outstanding. It claims 110 plus miles per hour with a proper good discharge rating 4S pack. Now, you can run 5S, you can run 6S, you can run 4S. I would not recommend 3S in this plane. This is definitely a racer. It is a performer. It's definitely, I would say, like a skill level 2 or higher. Of course, it has a stabilization, which, by the way, by plugging it in to where the flaps would normally be, is auxiliary on that particular receiver. Like I said, you need more channels, would be this. So now the stabilization is on. It will find fastest way to level. See that? See that? Make sure you can feel when you're moving this. Make sure the control surface is going the right way. Same thing with the rudder. And then elevator, you're going down and up. So check your reflex, make sure it's going the right way, which it will because it's separate from the receiver. Even if you reverse the ailerons or whatever, the receiver is gonna reverse, but the reflex knows, you know, it's in there. It knows it's a gyro. It knows which way is bank right, bank left. So that's the good part about that. Just a great overall plane. I think it's well worth the money. Like I said, a few courses with the linkages and a couple little things you got to deal with. But I would personally fly between a 22 to a 32. I would get a great transmitter. Obviously, you're going to have to provide, of course, a charger. You're going to need your own bind plug. And another thing really quickly is they give you extra screws. I would keep this in a bag. So one extra screw for the wing, an extra screw for the tail, extra screw for these servo horns, and of course the good old, I think it's like a speed antenna, or yeah, I think it's like a speed antenna or speed reader or something. I forget what it's called. Goes in the wing. I never install these because I always break them. just hanger rash. I don't have a box or anything for it. And just by moving around, you'll see hanger rash. You'll see the paint will easily come off in a couple spots if you rub it against anything. Of course, you can touch it up. It is foam. 84, great number. I'm not gonna say, I'm getting old, what that means to me, but amazing number there. You can see a little bit of information about this particular racer. It's experimental, very, very beautiful. And of course, when you have the 3-position switch really quickly, you have all the way up is stabilized. Middle is absolutely nothing. You can completely turn it off if you don't want any stabilization. And then all the way down is AX3X, which is only gonna move when you're not hitting the control surface and the wind is trying to move it. So it makes perfect sense. It works very beautiful. Yeah, great little size package. Should be a firecracker in the air. So that's it, guys. The FMS P-39 Air Cobra 2. I'm excited to fly it. Love the 1.2 meter from E-Flight. Let's see how this one stacks up. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Any questions or comments, please leave it in the comments below. And that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.